The South China Sea, a shimmering expanse of water, vital trade routes, and, honestly, simmering tension. For centuries, these waters have been a crossroads of commerce and conflict, a place where nations stake their claims and global powers test their resolve. Beneath the surface, unseen currents swirl, carrying not just ships, but the weight of history and ambition. On this day, the tranquility was shattered. What began as a routine patrol quickly escalated into a moment that would be remembered by everyone on board. A U.S. Navy destroyer, a symbol of American power and presence in these contested waters, cut through the waves with purpose. Its crew, trained for the unexpected, scanned the horizon. Suddenly, alarms shrieked, slicing through the steady hum of the engines. Every sailor snapped to attention, adrenaline surging as they rushed to their stations. Out of the haze, a Chinese fighter jet appeared, sleek, menacing, and unmistakably close. It seemed to materialize from thin air, a stark reminder of just how quickly the balance can tip from calm to chaos. The jet banked sharply, its wings wobbling as it executed a daring maneuver. It came dangerously close to the American warship, so near that the roar of its engines rattled the steel hull and sent vibrations through the deck. Sailors watched with bated breath, their eyes fixed on the sky, hearts pounding in their chests. The deafening roar of the jet engine drowned out all other sounds, a visceral reminder of the stakes at play. This wasn't just a routine flyby, nor was it a simple show of skill. The intent was unmistakable. It was a deliberate show of force, a calculated message sent loud and clear. The jet's aggressive maneuver was a warning, a demonstration of resolve and a test of nerves for everyone watching below. The encounter, though it lasted only seconds, sent shockwaves through the U.S. Navy and across the Pacific. In the ship's control room, officers scrambled to assess the situation, while news of the incident raced to the highest levels of command. From the bridge of the destroyer to the halls of power in Washington, D.C., the message was clear. In the South China Sea, every second counts, and every move is watched by the world. To truly grasp the gravity of this tense encounter, we must first journey into the heart of the issue, the South China Sea. This vast expanse of water, stretching over 3.5 million square kilometers, is far more than just a geographical feature on the map. It is a region where history, economics, and geopolitics collide, creating one of the world's most volatile flashpoints. The South China Sea isn't just a body of water, it's a vital artery for global commerce. Every year, trillions of dollars worth of goods, ranging from oil and natural gas to electronics and food, pass through these busy shipping lanes. For many countries, especially those in East and Southeast Asia, these waters are essential for economic survival and growth. Beyond shipping, the sea is a treasure trove of natural resources. Its rich fishing grounds support millions of livelihoods, while beneath the waves lie vast, largely untapped reserves of oil and natural gas. These resources are highly coveted, fueling competition and raising the stakes for all involved. Yet, the South China Sea is also a geopolitical tinderbox. China claims almost the entire sea, drawing its so-called nine-dash line that overlaps with the exclusive economic zones of Vietnam, the Philippines, Malaysia, Brunei, and Taiwan. These overlapping claims have led to decades of diplomatic standoffs, legal battles, and at times dangerous confrontations at sea. The United States, while not a claimant to any part of the sea, has a vested interest in maintaining freedom of navigation and upholding international law. American warships regularly patrol these waters, conducting what they call freedom of navigation operations to challenge what they see as excessive maritime claims. This brings the U.S. Navy into frequent, sometimes tense, contact with Chinese naval forces. Each side closely monitors the other, and the risk of miscalculation or accidental escalation is ever present. Even a minor incident could quickly spiral out of control, drawing in other regional players and threatening broader stability. The presence of both superpowers, each determined to assert its interests, turns the South China Sea into a powder keg. Incidents like the recent provocative flyby are stark reminders of just how easily tensions here could ignite, potentially sparking a conflict with far-reaching consequences for the entire world. The incident itself unfolded with heart-stopping speed. The U.S. Navy destroyer was conducting routine operations in international waters when the Chinese jet appeared. The jet made several close passes, coming within a few hundred feet of the American ship. The U.S. crew, highly trained for such encounters, followed established protocols, issuing warnings and maintaining their course. However, the Chinese pilot, whether acting on orders or on his own initiative, continued the provocative maneuvers. This kind of aggressive flying is extremely dangerous. In the heat of the moment, miscalculations or misjudgments can have catastrophic consequences. A collision, intentional or otherwise, could spiral into a major international incident. The reaction from both capitals was swift and, honestly, pretty predictable. Within hours of the incident making headlines, officials in Washington and Beijing were already preparing their statements, each side eager to frame the narrative in their favor. The world has seen this diplomatic dance before, and this time was no different. The Pentagon wasted no time in condemning the Chinese pilots' actions, labeling them as both unsafe and unprofessional. U.S. officials emphasized the potential dangers such maneuvers pose, not just to military personnel but to regional stability as a whole. They stressed that these kinds of incidents increase the risk of miscalculation, which could spiral into something much more serious. In their official statements, the United States reiterated its unwavering commitment to freedom of navigation in international waters. They made it clear that American warships will continue to operate in the South China Sea, undeterred by what they see as Chinese intimidation. The message was unmistakable. The U.S. intends to uphold international law and maintain a strong presence in the region. China, as is often the case, had a different version of events. Their response was equally forceful, but from a completely opposite perspective. The Chinese Foreign Ministry defended the pilot's actions, insisting that he was simply carrying out his duty by monitoring a foreign warship operating near what China considers its own territorial waters. According to Beijing, the pilot acted with restraint and professionalism, ensuring the safety of Chinese sovereignty. Chinese officials went further, accusing the United States of deliberate provocation. They argued that the presence of U.S. warships so close to Chinese territory is what truly raises tensions in the region, and warned that such actions could have serious consequences for peace and stability in the South China Sea. This back and forth, this blame game, is a familiar pattern in U.S.-China relations. Each side accuses the other of escalating the situation, and both remain firmly entrenched in their positions. Neither Washington nor Beijing shows any sign of backing down, and the world watches as the two superpowers continue their high-stakes standoff, with no easy resolution in sight. Incidents like this close encounter are incredibly dangerous because they raise the stakes in an already volatile region. In the tense environment of the South China Sea, a simple misunderstanding or miscalculation could quickly escalate into a full-blown conflict. Imagine, just for a moment, the consequences if the Chinese jet had collided with the U.S. destroyer. The loss of life, the sinking ship, the images beamed around the world, it would be a disaster. Both sides would face immense pressure to retaliate, potentially dragging the region and the world into a conflict that, honestly, no one wants. It really highlights the importance of clear communication, established protocols, and a commitment to de-escalation. This incident cannot be viewed in isolation. It's a symptom of the broader tensions between the United States and China. The two superpowers are locked in a strategic competition, vying for influence, economic power, and technological dominance. The South China Sea is just one arena where this rivalry plays out. We see it in trade disputes, cyber espionage, and the race for military superiority. The danger is that these tensions, if left unchecked, could lead to a new Cold War, dividing the world and, honestly, hindering cooperation on critical global challenges like climate change and pandemics. The close call in the South China Sea is a wake-up call. It's a stark reminder of the fragility of peace and the importance of responsible leadership. The United States and China must find ways to manage their differences, reduce the risk of miscalculation, and prevent these types of incidents from escalating into conflict. This requires open channels of communication, a willingness to engage in dialogue, and a commitment to finding common ground. The alternative, a descent into confrontation and conflict, is simply unacceptable. The world is watching, hoping that cooler heads will prevail. The stakes are just too high, the potential consequences too dire, to allow pride and mistrust to push us towards the brink.